Republican Party here at the Capitol in Olympia for this week's Chairman's Update. There's a lot of activity going on at the Capitol right now. Of course, the initiatives to fix what's broken in Washington are top of mind. We've had 5 of the 6 officially certified already by the State Secretary of State. The 6th is in line and will likely be certified in the next few days, giving us all 6 initiatives certified, and for the short time anyway, effectively bills in front of the legislature during the session. If the legislature doesn't pass them into law or does really anything else to ignore them, those initiatives then go to you, the people, for a vote this coming November on the general election ballot. But I'm actually going to talk today about something different than the initiatives. They are continuing to be a big factor here, but I want to talk about a drift that we're seeing in the bills other than those initiatives, which are currently being given kind of preferential attention by the legislature. And some of these bills are quite troubling. We've seen for the last several years in Olympia a move to make Washington a friendlier place to felons and criminals. Some of this involves handcuffing what law enforcement agencies can do. Other of these proposals had to do with just making life easier for criminals and felons. And just this session, we've had a couple of these bills that are working their way through the legislative process. One would allow felons in state prison, serving their sentence, still incarcerated, to vote and serve on juries and even run for public office from prison. It's a bizarre idea. Our state already has very generous law about restoring someone's rights to vote, to even own a firearm after they've served their time, after they've repaid society for their wrongs. We don't need to do anything to change that. And allowing people to vote and run for public office and serve on juries while in prison, aside from being a bad idea, is a logistical nightmare. Where do they live? Do they live at the site of the prison? Do they live at their address of record in other parts of the state? It's a mess. Similarly, there's a proposal now going through the legislature that would allow sex predators, sexual criminals, to serve on the sex offender policy board of the state. This is an organization that looks particularly at how specifically sex criminals, sex predators are treated in public policy, how they're sentenced, how they're allowed to get out into community custody and other matters. The idea of putting the criminals themselves on this policy board is an insult to their victims, to victims of sexual violence and sexual crimes. It's another strange proposal. And while some of the media attention on these bad proposals is focused on individual personalities involved, I think these bad ideas are more an indictment of the process here in recent years. I don't think we should tie our discussions about these bad ideas to any particular individual. I think everyone in this institution should be criticized for even considering these terrible ideas. We have crime rates going up all around the state, violent crime rates, property crime rates, and these bizarre, easy on criminals, easy on felon proposals being made are only likely to make these crime problems worse. I think everyone can be united in agreement that we want crime rates to be going down. We want to defend safer streets and safer neighborhoods in Washington, not these kind of eccentric social engineering policies to make things easier on criminals. No, we need to restore law and order in Washington. And that's what the common sense conservatives here at the Capitol want to do. And we need to change the dynamic. We need to change the frame in these public policy issues at the Capitol. The initiatives, which are also working their way through the process here, do some to improve that frame. But really, it's the legislators as a group here who've lost their way. And we either need to convince the existing majorities and the leadership in the legislature under the dome here that they're making mistakes by promoting these eccentric, bizarre ideas, or we need to change the majorities. I think this is a unifying message because everyone wants safe streets, everyone wants safe neighborhoods where kids can play and not have their parents worried about them being attacked by sex criminals. This is not good public policy. We need to restore public safety. We need to restore our fight against crime. And we need to restore reasonable law and order in this state. That's what I'm doing here. That's what Republicans are doing here. And that's what everyone of goodwill and common sense is doing here in Olympia. Let's keep talking about how to make this state a better place to live. I promise you, we will continue this fight, but it's a fight of ideas. And I believe our ideas will win the day in the long run. That's it for this week. I'll talk to you again soon. We're keeping up the fight for what's good here in Washington at the Capitol. Talk to you soon.